Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much for being patient this morning. We're a little busy this morning. Unfortunately, Cooper needed somebody to watch him for a couple of hours. Our sitter called out. So unfortunately that happened, but it was also fortunate too because I got to spend some time with my little guy. So thanks again for the awesome feedback to those who are part of our community. Deeply appreciate that. I'm glad things are working out pretty well for you. Again, patience pays off, folks. Solana, we hit our take profit target finally 3 days later, right? 26%. And our Caspa short hitting about 31% in 21 hours. That was a really good one. Caught that runner. Now, at this point, it's best not to try to buy the dip just based on the simple fact that we are tentatively breaking this support level here, right? So 94,000 roughly is that round number, easy to remember, is going to be that resistance level for us if we close below that today. So it's going to be important to close 94K or higher, really is a simple way to understand it. But we do have this power of three potential play out here, and there's a decent chance that we may see the price pulls back, a bearish back test of 94,000, that previous or current support level, right? It's a little too early to tell, you can't presume, but that's generally the consensus there, and if that happens, we should see things get really ugly because if you look here, Bitcoin dominance on its way back up, broke its local high of 64.6 and is running. So altcoins are kind of bleeding out right now. As I mentioned yesterday, you don't want to take any longs into that this kind of fake out, so to speak. We have a rising wedge pattern breakout. While we have potential for that point of control at 97,000 to be hit, it still makes a lot more sense for the price to pull back first. Those are my thoughts. I've been wrong in the past. Don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm perfect, but it's all here in the charts kind of letting us know that a pullback would make sense, right? So it's just being more logical than it is emotional, and that's kind of what I try to teach my community. Try not to be an emotional idiot. And I mean that with the utmost respect too. I've been emotional too, don't get me wrong. I'm not a stoic robot. But when you look at the charts, when you look at this here, you can't be sitting there like thinking that, oh, this is my favorite coin, it's going to go to the moon, oh, XRP, whoop-de-doo. Everyone's going to tell you what you want to hear. So just be logical and use sound financial advice, and I think you're going to be in better shape. Try not to listen to moon boys or those people that have these really dumb thumbnails. I'm sorry. It bugs me. My community jokes with me about it all the time, and it's kind of humorous to me that those people are actually way more successful than I am on YouTube. But whatever. If you keep hitting that like button, commenting below, we may change that dynamic, that paradigm, shift that in the right direction. So back in liquidation data, we can see 96 to 97,000 is that resistance level here, that resistance range. Keep in mind, liquidation accumulates at resistance and supports, right? So that's a simple way to understand it. We have liquidation swips all the time, but at this point, we're kind of smack dab in the middle of that 92 to 91 range, 96 to 97 range, okay? So it's really difficult to say specifically where it's going to go, but we're starting to lose momentum to the upside. I'm speculating we're seeing volume come down, and if so, then we're going to probably see the price pull back too. But from a macro perspective, there is still more liquidation above than below. So just note that. When we take a look here at liquidation delta, we can see here we're basically about 3 billion in liquidation delta for shorts, basically implying there's 3 billion more in shorts than longs, and that does kind of tell us that further downside is sensible. Okay, in most cases, when that number is exaggerated in one way or the other, or you've shifted that dynamic, that momentum, then you're going to find more continuation in that direction. That's the simple way to understand it. When it gets kind of like tight and compressed, like it has been for like about 3 or 4 days, that's when things get kind of unsure. Like the last 2 or 3 trading days, it's really hard to tell what's going on. But you can start to see this decoupling of altcoins and how poorly they're performing here recently, and that Bitcoin is more likely to go down. Or more important, even when Bitcoin's going up, you're seeing altcoins start to suffer. There's a lot of reasons for that, and Bitcoin dominance is a good indication of what's happening there. So I would just recommend no longs in altcoins just yet. I think we're still very early, and I think that 92 to 93,000 actually 92, 93,000. That's where this liquidation rate is, right? Or no, 91 to 92. I misspoke. That's where the heavy concentration is. It makes sense for us to see 91 to 92. That's kind of my guess. We may see some support at 92,000. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But open interest tells us there's not a single ounce of people buying this dip. Imagine this. Imagine being long at 95,000 right now. I mean, it's not that bad. Don't get me wrong. It's only 1,000 away. It's like 1, maybe 2% tops. But for the most part, at this point, it's not a good place to try to take a long against resistance and open interest. I've been telling you this for quite a few days now, is heavy at that level. That's kind of reinforcing that resistance for us, okay? So once more, not a guarantee, but just a likelihood that we see this fair value gap and this support range retested. Now, when we take a look at the daily time frame, let's go ahead and pull up some of our indications here. We can see that we got our fair value gap, pretty substantial gap between 88.5 and 92,000. So I think at the very least we see 92,000, probably even lower. I would love to get in at the 88.5 to 90K range. I've been talking about that for a few days now. So all that being said, regardless of what I would like to do or what I wouldn't want to do, you can just see there's a lot of confluence that at that 88.5K range. We got previous resistance turned support. This guy back here turned into a support level, potentially. Obviously, we had to retest it first. But we also have moving averages kind of hanging out in that range. We've got that 0.618 fib level. There's a lot of reasons why the 90,000 to 88.5K range is a likely support range for us. Okay. Now, I'm just kind of mentioning that and throwing it out there in case that were to happen. Am I firmly believing we're going to see that? It's more likely, but it's not like 100%. Okay. I mean, you're very rarely going to be 100% guarantee, but for the most part, I think it's like a 60% probability at this point. And yesterday it was more like 50, right? So it's kind of literally a flip of a coin. Now we can kind of round up. And at this point, these are all good signs here on the daily time frame. So I don't want you to walk away from this analysis thinking that I'm coming down this coin, or I think we're going to drop to the floor. I'm not a bear. I'm not a perma bear. I'm taking the charts as they go, right? And that's what you should do yourself too. Don't attach yourself to a bias that we're in bullish season right now. We're like totally like, bull run 2025. That's not it. Okay. I think it's still premature. We got to get 100 to 107K or higher to even see that happen. All that being said, we're on the 4-hour time frame. We're starting to lose moving averages. We've been under the 20-day SMA for about 4 hours with that pretty significant selling candle, and then we're right there at the 50-day SMA. So we're kind of just testing support. We are right here at 50 on the RSI. Once again, this is a bearish divergence when you see the RSI come down and the price going up. I misspoke yesterday. I think I said bullish convergence. So thank you for those who commented about that. But the truth is, this is not a good sign no matter how you look at it, with us being right here at 50 and stochastic swinging down, MACD diverging. There's a lot more reasons why the price action is more likely to continue lower. Okay. But once more, I hope I'm wrong and the price goes up. Really, I have no problem with that. But at this point on the hourly, we take a quick look here. We can recognize that the Ichimoku cloud is confirming that we're underneath. So once more, kind of reinforcing that resistance at 94,000. We also have our local point of control at about 94.7. So a perfect place to consider a short would be 94,500 as a rough estimate there, because what we'll likely see is a bearish backtest of this point of control or the ascending trend, right? So come up there to reject off that. So that's just roughly what we're looking at. So we'll see how it works out. I'll keep you updated, of course, and I'll post a playout chart in our Twitter, Telegram, or Discord. Also, to future reference, see if I can get this pulled up. This guy right here. Make sure you check this out, folks. May 1st, May 14th, easy money, deposit bonus, what, $400? You'll get that just by depositing $2,000. It's really simple, okay? So keep in mind that's available for you. If you haven't used my link to register, be sure to do so. Everyone who has already, check that out. Obviously, that's in our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, all that stuff. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much again for your time. Have a good rest of one. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.